Welcome back again to Resolutions Design. You might hear a little bit of an echo because I'm still trying to decor this room. In today's topic, we're going to do it once again. We're going to talk about an important topic about Shopify, which I noticed that a lot of people are asking. And in this particular video, what we're going to discuss is website speed. You guys might have noticed in Shopify, once, which I'll show you in a second, you'll see that there's kind of like this meter. There's this meter that talks about the speed, and then you might, Shopify is kind of like putting that in your mind, in your face, saying, hey, your website is ranking lower than X amount of stores. We're going to talk about that today. But first, if you're new to this channel, hope you join me on my journey with the subscribers that I have. These guys are just phenomenal. Those guys that are actually following my channel, thank you so much for adding such amazing comments. As you can see, I'm kind of like still trying to prepare. The academy's coming soon. I got the whiteboard coming in, got some decors coming in, and we're going to hit some major intense classes for the real deep questions when it comes to building your website. So again, if you're new to this channel, all I ask is for a subscribe, a like, that blue, just notify it, and then also the notifications bell as well. Okay, so thank you very much for that support. Every time you guys comment in the bottom, I will always, within less than 24 hours, try to respond. Okay, so let's get right to it. Again, I'm going to show you my computer screen. We're going to talk about tactics on how we could get this done. Okay, so let's go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, let's talk about this, where we're at. So this is what's annoying here. We're like, hey, look, I got the whole turbo thing. I got this and that. Or, I downloaded the turbo theme and still I'm not getting a good score. What's going on? Or, hey, I got this other theme going on my store and I'm getting such a low score. We're going to talk about this. Let's fix it, right? So a little history about this. First, let's make sure we know what this is all about. So you can see my face right here. All right. So what is Shopify using as a platform? Shopify is currently using not its own platform, but if you go ahead and you read where it says speed score, they'll go ahead and they'll start talking to you about how they're kind of like getting all this information, right? Saying, look, what are the factors? Where is this all coming from? And long story short, I mean, you guys could read this offline or whatever. Long story short, what they're using is they're using the Google developer tool or the speed tool for this, which if you get connected to a lot of people who do marketing, a lot of people who are Shopify experts, especially those who do SEO, they're going to tell you that Google is the worst. Google is like, when it comes to the whole speed test and all that type of stuff, it's not a really good gauging stick because there's a lot of factors that they're not taking into account, and they also don't really connect too much to it in order to play a role in the whole SEO game. What I mean is that on Google's SEO tools, if you do the speed test there on your website, don't think that that's a contributing factor strongly to your SEO, which is one of the reasons why I'm sure you're in this channel. You want to improve your speed because of your SEO, and most importantly, because of the user experience. You want people to get to your website faster, right? But that's not the case. In many cases, the top websites that people use, and if you don't know, it's called GT Metrics. So go to gtmetrics.com. And if you have a chance, go ahead and pause this video. If this is the first time you ever see this website, go ahead and pause this video and grab your URL, add it right there, find out what your score is, right? And then the one's a little bit more trickier to find. It's the Pingdom website. The way that I type it up in Chrome, by the way, I'm using Chrome. I type in Pingdom website speed test. I do that. And then right here, you'll see that, when it comes to analyzing website speed and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and click on it. They have a lot of different versions of the website. So it's okay if you're like, hey, I don't know how to get here. How do I get here? Just make sure you tinker around and start looking for it. The page has to look like this. Okay. So the page has to look like this. So we're going to leave these aside for a second. And let's go back to what a lot of people remember. Where did I leave off? You remember, if my previous video, I have the part 1, part 2, part 3 of how to build a turbo theme. Well, this is almost right after that, where I'm trying to now help you out with the speed test here. Okay, so let's look at the store. Let's just observe because this is partial of the problem. The store that I built here was the exact replica of the Turbo theme that was found in Out of the Sandbox. So if you guys are not familiar, Turbo is one of the themes that we wave the flag a lot on, and there's going to be more, but Turbo is definitely one of them. We are still testing out Flex, so let me know if Flex is important for you down in the comments. I'll make videos about that theme. It is more expensive than Turbo, but if you guys are interested, just let me know, and then I'll make a whole full analysis about Flex. But for the most part, Turbo is the real major one that I've made videos upon, and that's what I'm kind of going by, right? Okay, so let's go back over here. So as you remember, I made all of this to kind of like match the user experience and so on and so forth, okay? So, and I also remember one of the last videos I said, I made a domain name and it's actually live. So what I'm gonna do right here, right off the bat, is I'm gonna go ahead and press copy, and then I'm going to paste this to see how I score, okay? So let's go here and then let's analyze the store real quick. No pause button. We're just going to let it do its thing. Depending on your internet speed, this could also play out, but test server regions, they always usually typically do it from Canada and so on and so forth. All right, so we're going to just wait a little bit. Again, sometimes during the midday, like let's say on a Monday or something like that, this could get clogged up, because there's just so many people using it. Look at that. So based on the way that I had Turbo, which I have on the latest and greatest, showing you the real pictures here, I put all of those things stack after stack after stack, and I'm here scoring at a 8.2 seconds on the load time, which I get a page speed score of a B, but then I get a Y slow score of a C, which is just different factors. You could go ahead and kind of like gauge to see the details. Now, you might be wondering, well, what can I do? Just looking at these things, looking at these contributing factors. When it comes to these type of stuffs right here, where it's server based, you can't do anything because Shopify controls that. Remember, Shopify doesn't give you access to the actual server. That's something that you're paying Shopify for. They're the ones that are keeping the ship tight locked. They're not doing anything there. And then here, there's some other JavaScripts, and then why slow, they kind of start telling you all these other things that are mostly content, either content, which means you could either control, or there's server control, meaning you can't control it. I like to always grab another speed test just in case. So I'll do like a retest real quick to kind of like, you could do like 3 of them and then grab an average score. That gives yourself more or less an idea as far as how this is truly ranking up. Okay. So I'm just going to let this finish just to kind of like give you an assumption as to what this would look like. Okay. So right here we go. Almost done. Here we go. Generating report. Boom. 7 seconds, right? Still, we're not really happy with 7 seconds according to GT metrics. Not that it literally takes 7 seconds. You guys can visit the website, resolutionstore.com. If you're on the desktop, it'll load pretty quickly. So it's not that it's taking 7 seconds. It's taking into account a different location server and almost the worst case scenario. Now, let's go to ping. Okay, so now we're on this website, ping them speed test. Again, make sure that you're on the right one. We're going to go ahead and test it out. This time, as you notice, it's taking advantage of North American, let's see, in Washington, D.C. this time. It's not actually going to Canada or nothing like that. So again, depending on what time of the day, depending on what time of the week, that's how this pretty much gets populated. As you can see right here, it's saying 2.9 seconds. It's giving us D grade. We're not saying that we're super happy about that, but it is saying 2.9 seconds, which is literally not bad considering everything that it's taken into account. Now, we can continue here, or let's go to the worst one, which is the Google speed test. So we're going to go here, Google website speed test. And this is the one that Shopify is connected to. We're going to go right here. And we're going to go ahead and enter it in right here. And let's analyze that. They're going to give us the mobile version first, and then they're going to give us the desktop version, right? So let's see how this populates. Okay, here we are. So we got a very bad score right here on the mobile. A lot of it having to do with the indexing, content paint, so on and so forth, which they could go ahead and be very descriptive as to why this is happening. And then you go to desktop, and in desktop, we're scoring a 58, right? So a lot of these factors, we're like not so happy. We really wish on the desktop specifically, we were in the green, right? If we're in the green, that's really the goal. So let's tackle right away strategy. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to the back end here. One last thing, guys, this score does not get refreshed constantly. This score pretty much gets refreshed either every other day or within 24 hours or so. So don't think that this is something that they will constantly do for you. It probably even slower. I'm thinking that as time progresses, it'll become slower as far as how often do they test and how often does that score update itself. But let's go into strategy. What we're going to do here is that we're going to go into the customized theme, and we're going to customize this store here real quick. All right, so just a reminder again, where we had left off, we have a whole bunch of these sections. And what we're trying to figure out here is, truthfully, when we look at the entire website, right? So imagine if your store is composed very similar to this. We come to the website and we see a main menu navigation system, which is great. We have a banner that gives us some options, some call to actions. Let's talk about it right away. Is this an important section of a website? Is it important for conversions? What is the intent here? The intent is that, of course, the main menu navigation system, they need it. The main banner, that's the main presentation. It's all about the first look, right? First impressions go a long way. Very important. Then we have the banner call to actions. Google needs that. They don't want you to just have a banner that doesn't say anything. They want you to have a banner with some text and also a call to action. A call to action is shop women, shop men. In this case, it's a call to action because it's asking you to go somewhere to the website to proceed in the store. So think of it like the front door of a store when you go to the mall. You see the sign, you walk up to it, but you have to open the door in order to go in. This kind of emulates that door. You have to open the door to actually go into the store and see the catalog as to what the store has to offer. You following me so far? Now get this. Now we have just other things. We have check out this collection, check out this collection, check out that collection. We start seeing blocks after blocks after blocks, right? Check out this feature, check out that feature. We even have a video, we have signups, we have forms. Let's be realistic. What are we after? What is it that we want? Why are we doing e-commerce? What do we do? Are we in the business of being informative? Are we in the business of just showing off everything all at once, right? Are you that guy or girl that you drive up in a van and you pop the trunk and says, "Look at all my inventory"? Is that you? That's not how we sell, right? It's not how we sell. When you walk into a store, do they grab everything that's in there and they shove it all in the front? Do they bring it all in the front? Like immediately, like the moment you get in, you just see everything? No. There is a section of what you see in the front, there's a section you see on the side, and then there's some things in the back that if you go and you start to look around and then the cash register, like there's placements to things. And that's the psychology of purchasing. Keep that in mind. The psychology of purchasing is almost like a storytelling to get them finally to the cashier. And typically, it's at cashier is either all the way on the other side or they're in somehow in some corner, right? It's never like right there in your face, like right there. Maybe some of them are, but you get my point. The question that I have for you, strategizing, is do we really need all of these things? No, we don't. Because to some degree, they're eventually going to go into your collection. That's what you're asking them to do here or here and maybe even here. So my strategy to improve time is to chop up the fat. We need to cut the fat on the homepage. When people come into the store, we're trying to psychologically have them do something. Okay? We're trying to psychologically have them do something to penetrate through your store and to start dabbling in on your collections and the products. It needs to be easy for them to find things. All right. So, what are some fat that we could cut off here? Well, we could go ahead and cut off this video. Why are we going to need this video for? Hold the phone. You might be like, hey, yo, Edwin, but I need the video. Why would some websites need the video? Not every business needs it. You need a video on the homepage of your website if whatever it is that you're selling is something so difficult to comprehend that I need a video in order to explain to me what the product is. Yeah. So think about it. So if there's some proprietary product that you're like, and this is the new drone cell phone that automatically takes selfies from you all around while, automatically, right? Something that it's like, if you verbalize it, you need a video for that. But if you're just selling soap, why I gotta make a video about selling soap? Some do. But if they were to make a video about selling soap, they're not gonna put it on the homepage of the website. You're gonna see that video on the Facebook feed you saw. On the Facebook feed you saw that shows the video about the soap. Like, this soap is made from all organic vegetarian products, this and that and the third, and it makes you 20 years younger or something of that sort, right? But they're not going to put it on the homepage. By the time you reach the homepage, you're halfway sold. You're like, hey, yo, so I heard about that soap, right? So it's like, yeah, you don't need a video explanation for that. Do you follow what I mean? So that's why I say we don't need that. So I'm going to go ahead right here and click on this eyeball, and I'm saying, I don't need that. I don't need that. So let's continue. Ways to get in touch. Why? If you want to get in touch, chances are you're going to find contact us on the footer. Everybody in their mind have been programmed to click on contact us in the footer or somewhere in the main menu system. Why does it technically have to be in the body of the homepage? Unless you're selling some type of a product that everybody needs to contact you. We don't need it. Shop accessories, another banner. Just another banner of a collection. I don't need it. Furthermore, that was a slideshow, by the way. I just don't need it. Okay. Another featured collections. Nope. This is actually okay. This is okay. This yoga block collection, I don't need it either. So eventually, these are the most important ones. Main banner, probably a featured collection or a featured of collections. Simple, just four. And then these two accent as to why your products are great. Footer, finito, that's it. What more do you need? Let's go ahead and publish this. Let's save. So cutting out the fat of the homepage by numerous sections is going to help. And of course, with the rest of the structure of the website, you want to help out your clients so that they understand what you're selling and easily find what they're looking for. Okay, let's go test again. We're doing a retest. We're doing a retest because we chopped up some fat. I'll go ahead and rewind to find out what my old score was. And let's see what this new score fetches. .1 seconds. That's exactly where we need to be. Okay, 3.1 seconds. Got an A for a page speed score, and the Y slow gave me a B. Let's see what these guys say. Let's start that test again at Pingdom. Okay, let's see how this might turn out. I think in the last test, we were somewhere around the 3 seconds. They were more generous to us. And remember, these different pages, they don't all have to say the same thing. they measure differently, and they also measure in different locations. So depending on where they're measuring from, that's what it is. Look at that, 1.2 seconds. That's not bad. And from a D, I went to a C. They still say that I could improve on it, which is true. I could probably chop off that checkerboard thing. I probably might not need that, because remember, what I'm trying to have visitors is to come in and easily get in the door, go to the collections, go to one of them and check out my stuff. And then from there, so on and so forth. I'm not trying to tell too much of a story. Now let's go to the hater. Let's go to the hater right here on Google. Google always got something to say, right? Watch, even after those two improvements, Google's gonna be like, man, no, yeah, you still suck, man. Look, they gave me a 39 on the mobile. Not even generous enough on that. But check it out. On the desktop, I got a 91. Okay, so what other things can we do further down the line to actually improve the actual score? Well, make sure that your images are very light, right? You're not uploading them as PNGs, but you're uploading them as JPEGs. So make sure that you're uploading them based off of JPEGs. And there's also some tricks that I'll share down the line as far as how to minimize the JPEGs even more, just as long as you don't lose the quality. Some themes on Shopify, what right after you upload an image, what they do is that they translate them into what's called a WebP, which is an even lighter file, right? But that gets a little tricky because some of them will be as a WebP and some of them will not. I think what's the most important part is that it is very, very consistent on images, that the quality looks good, but that the files are very light. That's very important. And again, as you noticed, the homepage. Do you have to really worry about the collections page and the product landing page speeds and all that? No, because you already got them in the door. Like, what's important is that first impression. If your first impression loads up very quickly, the page that they click right after that, you don't have to worry about website speed after that. I mean, if you want to, go right ahead, especially if you're doing some type of campaigns that they skip the homepage and it takes them to the collections page. And you want to make sure that your collections page is at least between somewhere of 3 seconds to 5 seconds max on a mobile, especially, right? That's if you're doing those Facebook campaigns where it's like, check out this collection, go, and they skip the line and they just go straight to that collection or they go straight to that product. So make sure that your collections page and your products page are at least running at that speed if we're skipping or doing campaigns. But if they're coming straight to the homepage, then slim the fat, right? Just like on that tactic that I showed you there. Okay. If you like the contents of this video, let me know down in the comments as to what you thought. Also, what's your score? Shoot down in the comments your website to say, hey, Edwin, I'm having problems with this website. Check out my link. I'm scoring this much. I have no idea how to cut the fat on this. I could go ahead and give you guys some suggestions as to how you could improve the website speed. But is it actually very critical? Is it life or death situation? Is it something that you think that this is hindering your sales? The answer is no. If you want to, go to apple.com, grab that URL, put apple.com on any of these speed tests, and you'll notice how horrible they score. They score horrendously, right? But one might counter that argument to say, well, that's not a big deal because those guys are giants, right? Those guys are like the biggest in the business and they get traffic no matter what. Here we are, the small people, no one knows us. And the last thing that we want to do is give a horrible first impression by our website loading up so slowly or so turtle status. That I understand, and that is why it might be important for you. It's for the first time impression, right? But is it something that it's like, oh, it's the primary factor as to why we don't get sales at all? Maybe. If your website is loading more than 12 seconds and literally you're on broadband and you go on the mobile and it's really crawling, yes, that's a huge problem. That could severely be impacting your sales. But if you have friends that have, like, let's say these cell phones like a Boost Mobile or something like that, they got the 3G network, they live somewhere, I don't know. You say, hey fam, can you do me a favor and go to my website real quick? I just want to make sure if it loads okay. And they're like, sure, they have an economical phone, and you see if it loads up good, you got nothing to worry about. If you're clocked up in sales, that's not it. It's not because of the website speed, right? So, long story short, folks, don't sweat that number, that little gauging number that Shopify showing at you. Don't sweat it. Instead, I'm gonna make an academy, and I'm investing on it. It's because of you guys watching this video and subscribing, right? And pressing that like button. It's what's allowing YouTube to help me invest into the academy. It's because of you guys. Without you guys, I would not have funds to do the academy, invest in equipment, and then do this layout plan for you. But in the academy, I'm going to show you everything, like even how to start a business from scratch, all the way down to the tactics that truly sell. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I earned that subscribe. And until next time, thank you very much.